Hey coders, welcome to another video of our JavaScript Power-Up playlist. Before going advanced, you want to practice more and make your foundation stronger. Then this is the playlist for you. Today, we're building a to-do list app, a simple, beginner-friendly project that will boost your skills before diving into advanced JavaScript. Let's start with create a new HTML document and open it with Code Editor. Don't worry about the HTML and Tailwind CSS, I'll briefly explain them, but the main focus here is JavaScript. By the end of this, you'll have a functional to-do list that lets users add and remove tasks. In our HTML file, we will have a title, an input field to type tasks, a button to add tasks, and a list where tasks will appear. We're using Tailwind CSS to make it look nice without writing custom styles. If you're not familiar with Tailwind, don't stress. It just helps us write clean styles faster. Our focus is JavaScript. Once our structure is ready, we will move on to the JavaScript. So stick around for that. We're styling the background with a cool gradient, making the to-do list a white card with rounded corners and shadows, and using simple flexbox layouts to align elements properly. Thank you for following along. Now that our structure is ready, let's add the JavaScript functionality to create new tasks dynamically. First, create a JavaScript file and link it to our HTML file. We will start by adding an event listener to the document. It waits for the DOM content loaded event, which runs when the initial HTML document has been completely loaded and parsed. The function inside will run when this event occurs, ensuring that all HTML elements are available before we start manipulating them. Next, grab our HTML elements using document.getElementById, so we can interact with them. Create variables for task input, add task button, and task list. These variables provide quick access to key elements, allowing the script to read user input, handle button clicks, and update the task list efficiently. Then create a function, which is responsible for adding a new task to the list. Inside the function add task, const task text equals task input.value.trim. It gets the text from the task input element. Uses trim to remove any leading or trailing white space. Stores the result in task text variable. Then we checks if task text is empty after trimming. If it's empty, the function immediately returns, preventing empty tasks from being added. Then, creates a new list item element. This will be the container for the new task. Inside li.classlist.add. Add Tailwind CSS classes to the li element to style the task item. This code sets up the foundation for a new task item, preparing it to receive the task text and interactive elements. Then create a new span element, and assign it to the variable span. Span is an inline HTML element commonly used to contain and style text. Span.textContent equals task text. This sets the text content of the span element to task text. Task text is the trimmed input value from the user, containing the actual task description. Then add some CSS classes to the span element. These work together to create a text element for the task that will display the task text entered by the user. Now, creates a delete button for each task and assembles the task item. Creates a new button element and store it in a variable delete button. Sets its text to a red cross emoji. Add some CSS classes for styling. For cross-browser compatibility, sets user select to none. Add click event listener to the delete button. When clicked, this button will remove the entire list item, li. Next, assemble the task item. li.appendChild, span, this adds the span element, that contain the task text, as the child element of the list item. Then, we add delete button as child element. The delete button will appear at the end of the task item. At last we add task list. This adds the fully assembled list item to the task list. Then, task input.value with an empty string. This clears the input field after adding the task. It resets the value property of the task input element to empty. This prepares the input field for the next task entry. Right now, we can only add tasks by clicking the button, but let's also allow the Enter key to add tasks for a better user experience. We now have a working to-do list where users can add and delete tasks. Alright, before we wrap up, I want you to do something on your own to experiment your code. Right now, our to-do list lets users add and remove tasks. But wouldn't it be cool if they could mark tasks as done? Here's your challenge. Modify the code to add a checkbox to completed tasks. Pause the video now and try to implement it on your own. Take some time to figure it out. This is how you truly learn. Once you've given it a shot, resume the video, and I'll walk you through my solution. Here's how I approached it. Create a new input element and assign it to the variable checkbox. Checkbox.type equals checkbox. This sets the type attribute of the input element to checkbox. This turns the input into a checkbox that users can click to toggle on, off. Then, add some CSS classes to the checkbox to make it look good. And, lastly, we will assemble the checkbox in front of the list item, so it appears first. Nice work! If you followed along, you now have a functional to-do list that lets users add, delete, and complete tasks. This project is a fantastic way to get comfortable with event listeners, DOM manipulation, and user interactions. If you found this useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment what you built. Alright, that's it for this one. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next JavaScript video.